Cool. Is this working? Hang on. Oh wait, I picked up the list. Oh, there we go. Okay. So for the people who are actively watching, which is probably nobody, thank you for showing up. For the people who are watching this later down the line, which I guess includes probably patatasfritaz, I hope this proves useful. So I've got some drawings up on my other monitor, and we're just gonna send it. So, well, actually, you know what? Here, let's go over the part first. So, these are the images that the OP posted, patatas fritas. We've got what looks like an oil engine piston ring of some kind with these little interesting bebops coming up and over, and this interesting sort of corrugated exterior. And it looks like all of these lines are radial too, which makes things a little interesting. No dimensions on anything. I think I saw maybe one. Oh, 40 degrees. There we go. There's an actual dimension. We got 5 millimeters. So it looks like they don't dimension that that number right there, which is a little weird, but work with it. What else we got? Yeah, just some indications of the sections and indications of the wall thickness. We know this is 0.5 millimeter. We know this is 5. I'm gonna guess that's probably 1.2 millimeters in height. So I'm going to use that as the primary dimension. That's what I'm going to do because it makes it sort of easier to. We're going to start with a quick center line up the middle. And then, hang on, we're not full screened. There we go. Get rid of all this junk. We're going to start with making the cross section because that gives us, that's the most solid thing that was at all like present in the drawing. That oops, that's vertical. I want it to be horizontal. So we know it's 5 mils overall. Go with, oh wait, I forgot, I don't need this. I've been using that technique for a long time, but it's not quite as friendly for the revolve feature if you make more than one construction line. So it's better to try and use the midpoint horizontal with other things. I'm gonna make this. Oh, I don't know, we're in millimeters. Let's say regular piston 75 millimeters ID. I'm gonna have to guess on everything else. Looks like that is accidentally coincident with the origin, which is rude of it to do. But this guy is 0.5. This guy is probably 0.2. And we'll make these two equal and collinear, which forces them to be exactly where I want them. The last thing that I'm not really sure about is what the OD is going to be. 80 seems pretty reasonable, but there weren't really any dimensions given. I think I'm just going to leave it at 80. Seems pretty reasonable to me. Yeah, that seems all right. So we'll go ahead and revolve that. This revolution blind all the way around. Yeah. Here's where it gets tricky. I think what I want to do is I want to have a global variable for. Oh, hang on, I can't have a global variable. Yeah, this just got very weird. I just realized that if they're enforcing that 40 millimeter undercut, then you really have no say in what the spacing is going to be, which is very bizarre. It's the same as the thickness of one scraper ring. I'll show you what I'm looking at here. So this thickness of one scraper ring, I don't have any documentation, I don't have any numbers for that. I know that's supposed to be 0.5, I know this is supposed to be 40, and I know that's supposed to be a full round, but that's it. So, oh, hang on, no, This seems like it wasn't drawn by someone who knows how to draw things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a plane that is referenced with the front and this guy. I want it parallel. And I want to flip the normal so that it's normal outwards. And I'll sketch on that. And normalize. And then we're just gonna... Yeah, let's do kind of the rough outline of our section here. Who's texting me? Who would do such a thing? Nothing important. We can offset. We want it to be bidirectional. We want the base to be construction, and we want the offset to be 0.25 so that we get a 5mm thickness. What I'm going to do instead, actually, is remove those dimensions. I just like to have it be, I'll have the width dimension that I want. And then I can always make it symmetric. This is what they should do with these kinds of offsets, is they should have it be a symmetric thing. I'm going to segment entities, sketch segments to just segment that guy. Make him equal to these. Okay. That looks pretty good. Doesn't want to shrink in length, which is kind of rude, but yeah. And that works. That works well enough. So we're going to take that 40 dimension and we're going to... This probably isn't ideal. In fact, it's a little bit messy now, the more that I look at it. But that gets us our 40 degrees. I'm going to lock these ones with the outside up here. Linear, linear, collinear. And we get a lot of freedom actually with this. And I'm now realizing this won't work at all. Crap. Let's make kind of a rough. Yeah, okay, hang on. None of this will work. I need to rethink how I'm doing this. So I've got some offset down here from this guy. I go up, go over, come down, and I'm back. Then from up here, come over, some offset, down and over. And then I've got 40 mil or 40 degrees. Oh, here we go. I can just do this with a bunch of symmetrics. This is going to be kind of bad, but this is just a really weird part, and the drawing wasn't very well dimensioned, so I'm just kind of thinking, how would I do this? The answer is I don't know. Parallel that. 0.5. 0.5. Whoops. Those should be symmetric. I'm going to force those to be symmetric, and then that should lock everything up mostly. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So now the question becomes, what have I done wrong? And the answer is a lot of things. Drink more. Here's what I'll do. What I actually need to do is I need to cut these bits. And when I wrap cut, I need to wrap cut those bits. So I will do this kind of dealio. Make those construction. And then if I segment this guy and make one of his edges equal to one of these two guys equal, Is that get out of construction? Yeah, you should be construction. So we should now have only 3 closed contours of kind of arbitrary width. Yeah. Sweet. Okay. See, I said this was 75 millimeters. So I'm going to have this distance be 75 millimeters times pi divided by, say, 40. That seems pretty reasonable. I forgot to add this extra offset over here. Make those collinear. Now, I should, this is a very big should, this will be a wrap cut to a depth of, say, 4. And it'll be a analytical wrap, which makes this much easier. And pull direction, just hit OK and see what it does. Hey, that's sick as heck. Those have an angle between them, which is exactly how I want. And it's 9 degrees too, which 9 times 40, so that means everything actually came out all right. So now we can circularly pattern this. No, I don't want to pattern the revolve. I want to pattern this, or I want to pattern around that. I want to pattern this equal to, oh wait, I forgot. Hang on. I need to add an equation, n. I'm just going to call it n because I'm lazy. It'll be 40. And it'll be equal to, so this number, oh, you know what, I should add ID 75 millimeters. I'll just call it width because I'm lazy. This will be ID times pi divided by n. And then 5.8049, that seems pretty right. No, in here, I could just go width. Whoops. Forgot you need to do equals width. That locks it to the global variable. And then I'm going to come over here and make this equal to ID, which should save me some silliness. I'm also going to be a little more careful, and I'm going to tweak this guy. Instead of having it be a defined OD, I'm going to have it be a just some separation, so I can change the OD and it should fix itself pretty nicely. So add that plane because it's ugly. We're going to do a circular pattern on this direction. This is going to be equal to n. Yep, and then pick that one. Sick. There you go. There's your word structure. Doesn't have all the fillets. My bad. Let's see. Can I make it easily do a full face fillet? Yeah, that looks pretty good. So that doesn't tell us what radius that is. And in fact, it won't have a definite radius, which is kind of dumb. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to go do that back in the sketch, because otherwise you're just going to have a bear of a time trying to make those correct. And if you do it in the sketch, it'd be the same. You get identical geometry. You don't have to worry about the wrap feature. Primarily doing the analytical wrap, it will produce smooth surfaces that are always radial, or what's the word I'm making? I think radial is the right word. So if I do, whoops. So if we go midpoint, not what I was asking for, just try coincident. Yeah, there we go. And we can make these two guys. Well, actually, rather than doing a symmetric, which isn't super safe, we'll do tangent instead. Then I can trim all this stuff out here. Now I have sort of a conundrum. Here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to bring these two up. I think, what are these guys coincident with? Okay, they're coincident with that line. What I'm going to do instead is, end to normalize. I'm going to make this guy tangent with that, well, yeah, tangent with that edge is fine. And then I can come up here, make this horizontal. And this was just something I was thinking about the other day. What's the best way to make edges, what's the best way to make sort of exterior cuts like this? Because it's something that I run into occasionally, is how do I safely make that, this sort of exterior cut? And this, oh, make that vertical. And okay, so now we've got some kind of weird size variability there. The next thing to do to fix that is edges over here and over here to make those tangentio. And we're going to make them all equal to this guy, this sort of master one up here. I'm also going to make him tangent down here, which locks everything into place. Then I can make those cuts, bring that out there. And now it's starting to fit. Why is it starting to fit? Oh, because we're no longer symmetric. Lock those in place. Maybe that's not the best way to do that, but actually, yeah, it's just straight up not the best way to do that. Okay, yeah, a better thing to do would be to have these be tangent. I'm also going to flip that so the dimensions are a little easier to read. Make sure all my dimensions are nice here. Yeah, that's pretty good. So the first thing that the wrap will do is it'll throw a fit because, oh, hang on. Could not use any contours from Sketch. Wrap parameters. Not great. Source Sketch. Won't let me select that. Okay, so I'm going to have to undo that. I'm going to have to reinspect this sketch. Yeah, it looks like I only have two closed contours. The other thing you can do is hide bodies. Solidworks will give you a helpful hint in the form of these darkened areas to show you where you've got proper solid contours. It seems pretty reasonable though. Let's exit sketch and try another wrap. Let's do S and wrap, easier. So we'll wrap on this face, be an extrude cut. Okay, could not use any contours from Sketch. I think what's happening here is it doesn't like that this is larger than the face, so I'm just going to make that tangent. And that might make it throw a fit, but it might also make it throw less of a fit than if it were doing something else. Let's do that face again. Intersecting or open contours. Okay. So it really doesn't like me doing this. So this one, here's what I'm going to do. This is kind of a hacky way to go about this, but I think I can do it in a way that's mostly safe. Oh, but it won't exactly match, it won't be exactly the geometry, will it? Phooey. This will always extrude with keys. This will always extrude with these points. Those edges will come back in that plane. If I do a full round, they'll come down because the faces will get a little bit wider apart. I don't really feel like showing that, but I don't know. Imagine it. Just have a good imagination and imagine it in your head. Make those coincident again. Segment this guy. Actually, hang on. The safer thing, another handy thing to do is the split line tool. You go boink, boink. And then you have two very convenient split points. And suddenly it just is that way. So I'm going to forego accuracy here, I think. If I really wanted to, I could extrude this shape and with like a boundary extrude and use some radial lines. And then I could use a combined feature and then a circular pattern if I really wanted to get the geometry super accurate. But I don't think it's really necessary because this edge is, you're shaving micrograms maybe, I think. So we'll try this wrap feature now. It should come out all right. Okay. Yeah, failed to emboss sketch contour. Why? Hold direction front plane. Does that do anything? Try using scribe option. Oh, hang on. Oh, it doesn't like that. How rude. I'm gonna make an extra dimension here and just say, call this guy the, D6 sketch 2. What if I just called it radius at sketch 2? And then I went extendo. These two are now the defining features for this, so I can't get rid of them, but I can. Whoops. Didn't like that. Just reattaching these to those, and that'll. So now I've got three solid embossing features that'll work, and then I can do a fillet. Oops, I'm at face fillet. I can make this guy equal to radius at sketch 2. And when I come up here, now we have radii. And if you zoom way in, well, I guess you can't see it actually, it's too small. Are these faces tangent? What, tell me? Well, no. Selected items intersect, but I guess it won't tell me if they're tangent. I could probably fit a curve or something if I really wanted to, but I don't. I think it's fine as is. So the one other feature was, I think we had some like, it looked like 0.3 millimeters roughly. I'll pull the drawing up. If I can remember where I put the drawing. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so there's, it looks like they just did the same fillet dimension, which is kind of weird. So I'm gonna do the same thing, kind of lazy. Oh, you know what? There's always the internal to feature one. That isn't perfect, but it's close. I'll just get rid of those two. Okay, fine. That seems pretty reasonable. Maybe 0.5. Whoops. 0.5. Because they do look pretty large in, whoops. They look pretty large in this. Like, yeah, maybe the radius of the thing. Anyway, circular pattern. We're just gonna go on that one right there. We pick up our trim, or our wrap rather, our upper fillet, our lower fillet, and it complains about a geometry pattern. I'm gonna ask it to do a full preview. Oh god, it's not showing the geometry, so it'll probably fail. Yeah. Thickness specified may be too high. What if, can you circular pattern delete faces? That'd be so dumb. I'm gonna try doing just exactly the thickness. See if it creates some garbage geometry. Didn't make garbage geometry, so that's a good start. Cannot be done with the geometry pattern. Oh, hang on. What's it gonna done? Those aren't... Oh, you know what? No, I'm on the right. Oh, pull directions front plane. Ah, that's dumb. Okay, there we go. That's what I was expecting. A little sliver there to indicate that it's not actually wrapped. That it's not following quite right. But direction, then feature 1, 2, 3, boink. Could not be done with geometry pattern. Might still throw a fit. Fingers crossed, it'll come out okay. It does have to do the same number of wrap. I think 40 times is what the equation said, so it might throw a fit. In a perfect world, you could use a geometry pattern, and that would make this part very safe for using elsewhere, but whoops. Hey, check it out. Let's pull up the, whoops, that's Steam. That's not right. Blink. Yeah, that looks pretty close. I think, all things considered, I would call that solved, even. Yeah, nice. Now, obviously there's, hang on, not obviously. Oh no, there's a wider at the outside too. Okay, so that I must have used a very similar, if not the same construction method. A revolve, well, maybe not a revolve, I don't know how they did that. That sort of their base blocking out, but certainly the wrap was the way to go. So yeah, for what looks like one viewer, two viewers. Thank you for watching. I'm probably gonna end the stream here momentarily. Hopefully you learned something useful. If you didn't, let me know, ping me on Reddit or something, and yeah, ask me to draw something. Thanks.